Please welcome to the stage Managing Director of Techstars Toronto and the co-host of Collision, Sunil Sharma.
Oh, this is amazing. Listen, there are... Oh, my earpiece just dropped. There are thousands of you here. I might need a tech. There are thousands of you here. What we're going to ask you to do is make space. There's a beer pavilion over there. This broadcast is happening simultaneously in the MoneyConf stage. So give yourself a lot of room. There's more people coming. We want to keep the aisles a little bit free. All right, so my name is Sunil Sharma. I'm the Managing Director of Techstars Toronto. Techstars is the worldwide network that helps entrepreneurs succeed. And with more excitement right now, I'm the co-host of Collision. And before we kick off, I want to acknowledge that the land that we are all sitting and standing in today is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wadit peoples. And it's now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. So I'd also like to acknowledge that Toronto is covered by the Treaty 13, which is signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. Now, on the note of Toronto, I wanted to say good evening. It's my great honor to be welcoming you here tonight to the opening night of Collision. And so over the next 3 days, 4 nights, we're going to see people redefining the global tech industry. We're going to witness them converge right here in Toronto for the very first time. Tonight is the culmination of an incredible renaissance which the city's tech community has witnessed over the last 5 years. Toronto is home to 18,000 companies in the tech industry and has more than 400,000 people working in this incredible industry, which has created more jobs between 2012 and 2017 than any city in North America, including Silicon Valley. Toronto is clearly a city on its ascent. We have an incredible lineup in store for you tonight for the opening night of Collision 2019. You're going to hear from Canadian movie star turned cannabis entrepreneur Seth Rogen, who will be discussing his new venture. We have an amazing fireside chat about entrepreneurship with 2 Canadian world-class entrepreneurs, Cloudflare's Michelle Zatlyn and Canadian singer-songwriter Jessie Reyes. We also have the honor of hosting a very special fireside chat with the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. And finally, the Mayor of Toronto, the incredible John Tory, will officially open this event. But before we bring those heavyweights onto the stage, we've picked a selection of the most exciting startups that we're going to be featuring this week at Collision. And we're going to give you a sneak peek of what they are, what they do, and what they're going to become. Because since 2013, venture capital investment in this city has grown by over 150%. And across Canada, the year 2018 was a record year for investment, with a whopping $2.7 billion having been invested in new companies. And the startups that you're about to meet, are in many ways a result of those incredible investments. So let's get started. The first company on stage, which I'm delighted to say is based right here in Toronto. Its first impressions matter. They matter in business as they do in real life. And that also goes for a customer's first experience with your product, right down to the look, the touch, and the feel of the very box that it arrives in. So let me introduce to you a fantastic Canadian company, Georgette Packaging, which creates unforgettable, bespoke packaging for brands. Please welcome to the stage CEO and founder, Sarah Landstreet.
Good evening, everyone. Do I see a slide? Where? Aha. Okay, brilliant. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Sarah Landstreet. I'm the founder and CEO at Georgette Packaging. The packaging industry globally is worth $980 billion. That's nearly 3 times the size of the world's entire software industry. Packaging is something that everyone on Earth uses, pays for, and disposes of, almost all on a daily basis. There is no software replacement for packaging. This is an industry that isn't going away. In fact, it's only growing with consumption. Disruption is drastically needed and inevitable. The same applies to our relationship with disposable packaging and our understanding of the tremendous impact it has on our environment. I believe that it is our responsibility as business leaders to drive this change. Now, there are 2 primary ways to do so. Number 1 is by being informed and principled users and buyers of packaging. This is powerful and crucially needed. And number 2 is by reform from within the packaging industry itself. That's one of our main priorities at Georgette. Now, there are more and less responsible ways to dispose of packaging. More impactfully, there are more and less responsible ways to create packaging. We work with hundreds of brands across North America to develop environmentally preferable packaging. Some of the ways in which we do so are by educating end consumers about the realities of disposal, creating a market for recycled materials, and by carbon offsetting all of our packaging. Georgette Packaging is backed by Y Combinator. We have an annual revenue of $4 million, and we're a team of 7. We're also profitable. I believe there is a tremendous shift happening in our industry, that there is much work to be done, and that we are most qualified to do it. I encourage anyone who is interested in improving the environmental standard of their packaging to get in touch. Sarah@georgettepackaging.com. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to follow one future star with another. VoiceFlow helps people design, prototype, and build apps without coding. And when you consider that Amazon has sold more than 100 million Alexa devices, you'll get an idea of why there is no limit on what this next Canadian company is set to achieve. So to hear more about their exciting plans, let's welcome to the CEO and co-founder of VoiceFlow, Braden Ream.
Hey. How's everyone doing? Woo. Nice. So 12 months ago, my co-founders and I were looking for the next big thing. We'd all just finished our first startup, and we noticed a pretty peculiar trend. Now, everyone, when I ask you to raise your hand, please keep it up. Who here has an Alexa smart speaker at home? Who here has an Alexa-enabled device? And keep your hands up. Who here has a Google Assistant at home? Keep your hands up. Who here has Siri on their phone? Nice. So there's 2.5 billion voice assistants out there today, and we thought that was pretty interesting. So we decided to start a company in the space. What we started with was interactive children's stories on Alexa. Choose your own adventure stories. In fact, that's the dorm room we started out of 12 months ago. We would write the stories ourselves. We would then package them up and ride them around on our bikes in Toronto, delivering them to families. And we actually built a pretty successful Alexa skill. In fact, it was one of the most highly rated Alexa skills on the entire store. And so we actually ran into a pretty peculiar problem. We couldn't produce interactive children's stories on Alexa fast enough. So we enlisted some friends, and we had a conveyor belt going of people writing children's stories, scripting them out, coding them, user testing them, and then finally making them cross-platform at the end. However, we couldn't produce enough children's stories fast enough. So the logical conclusion was to build an internal tool to make this process easy. It turned a week-long process into a day-long process. And very quickly, we realized we wanted to build the YouTube of interactive voice entertainment. We were going to get external authors and creators to create content on our internal platform and release it to the world. However, when we released this stories platform, people didn't want to have their stories on our platform. They wanted to create their own apps. And so we shifted the entire company to make it easy for people to build, design, prototype their own voice apps. In our first 2 weeks, we had 2,000 plus designers and developers sign up, and today that's over 10,000. These are some of the companies using VoiceFlow to design, prototype, and build their voice experiences. And we don't just have aims for Alexa and Google. In fact, we believe in a future where people are just going to talk to technology more and more, whether that's Samsung Bixby, Siri, Alexa, or Google Assistant. And for that, there's a very logical conclusion that they're going to need a design and development platform for these new interfaces. In fact, we've even had some of those highly rated Alexa skills on the store, including this one, which was featured on the homepage of Amazon. And this was entirely designed, prototyped, and built all with VoiceFlow. We have some amazing capital partners we've recruited over the past 12 months now, with True Ventures leading our most recent round, the founders of Envision, Eventbrite, Webflow, and Product Hunt all coming on. There's an exciting future for voice interfaces, and if you want to chat about it, I'll be here all week. Thanks so much. Thanks.
All right, next, we're going to pivot to an insight into the impact that technology is having on the construction industry. Roofer is a marketplace for roofing, which utilizes revolutionary software to simplify roof repair and roof replacement. He's joined us all the way from San Francisco to tell you more about his brilliant company, so let's get the Roofer CEO and co-founder Richard Nelson out on stage.
Hey everyone. All right, by a show of hands, how many people have replaced their roof? Holy shit. Okay, so you probably all know how shitty of an experience it is, and we're really trying to fix that. So getting a roofing estimate usually takes weeks. We do it in 30 seconds. Homeowners can go online, enter their address, within seconds get a quote. We then connect them with roofers to do the work. We typically save consumers, on average, 20%. Our mission is to ensure that every family has access to protect their home with an affordable roof. Now, what do we do for roofers? We're building a platform that helps them manage their entire workflow. Roofers get free leads. They have access to free satellite measurement software. Pretty exciting, we're actually going to be offering business loans to our bank partnership. Roofers can get up to a $100,000 line of credit in under 3 minutes. And we're launching a material purchasing program where roofers can actually purchase their materials cheaper through a roofer rather than buying them on their own. This is actually a massive market. Over 5 million roofs have the roof replaced every single year. Our investors believe so too. We've had investments from Y Combinator, Crosslink Capital, and many others. So currently, we're live in 5 North American markets, and our plan is to go nationwide in the next 5 years. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much. If you're interested in seeing more, come see us at our booth.
So you're now going to meet 2 founders who built their company to give young women space, a safe space to grow, to learn, and as they say, become badass selves. Bloom are the first direct-to-consumer brand focused on puberty. From trustworthy education to a safe and effective self-care products, please put your hands together for the sisters behind this fantastic brand, Bunny and Taryn Gatora.
Only 26 states in the US mandate sex ed, and Ontario just reverted back to a pre-1993 sex ed curriculum.
60% of our audience of girls and women told us that they felt their self-esteem plummet as they went through puberty.
And that's why we created Bloom, the brand that girls grow up with. My name is Taryn.
And my name is Bunny. Bloom is setting a new precedent for sex ed and personal care products for girls as they go through puberty and beyond.
There is no go-to brand with comprehensive sex ed and safe, effective products for girls as they grow through puberty.
From pesticides in our tampons to benzoyl peroxide on our skin, legacy brands are not meeting consumers where they are.
And that's why we created Bloom. More than just a product, we're a go-to brand that serves the community and changes the stats and sets a new standard for puberty education and self-care.
We sell to our customer in 4 distinct ways. Firstly, direct to consumer on our website with these 4 products that were crowd-created with our community. We're vegan and cruelty-free and truly created these products with our customer in mind. Customers can shop one time from our website or on a subscription. We focus heavily on content through Bloom University and have partnered with strategic retailers like Urban Outfitters.
Clearly, the consumer landscape is changing, and startups are taking market share away from large CPG brands. And Gen Z consumers especially care about the mission and values behind the brands that they support.
Bloom is creating the next generation of thriving, informed, and confident young women who are eager to grow into the very best versions of themselves.
We launched Bloom in June of 2018, and we've been growing 30% month over month. February of this year, we raised $3.3 million from investors led by Felices, and we're just getting started. To join us on our mission, please visit meetbloom.com and follow us on Instagram @meetbloom, and don't forget to share with a teen in your life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. All right, coming up next is another incredible Toronto company. They are pioneering a new dimension of gaming that they say belongs to its players. Horizon Games makes blockchain-powered video games, and their co-founder and chief storyteller, Michael Sanders, is here to tell you more about their plans for world domination. Please welcome Michael on stage.
Imagine a world that belongs to all of us, an entire reality that everyone co-creates, a new dimension where everyone gets to play. I'm Michael, chief storyteller at Horizon Games, where we're pioneering a new dimension of gaming for players and creators. Video gamers today spend $32 billion on digital game items. Some items like cards, swords, and costumes start selling for as low as 25 cents. While others become so valuable, they sell for $6 million, like Planet Calypso in Entropia Universe. Unfortunately, most games today forbid players from trading or reselling their game items, which means that gamers spend $32 billion on items, and yet they don't actually own them. We're here to change all of that. The new dimension we're building at Horizon starts with Arcadium, a digital arcade where every game item is actually a cryptocurrency that players can own. For players, Arcadium is a place to discover new games, win valuable game items, and trade or sell goods in the marketplace. For developers, Arcadium is an open, programmable world to create new games that benefit from crypto economics. For all users, we've made the experience easy and intuitive, so no one needs to know anything about blockchain or crypto to play, create, and have fun. Today, we're announcing Skyweaver, our first game of this new dimension. Skyweaver is a free-to-play 1-versus-1 card game where the cards themselves are a form of cryptocurrency. Players battle each other, and the winner receives a newly generated card on the blockchain. Players can trade or sell their cards however they like, and they keep the profits. And Skyweaver's just the beginning. Arcadium grants players access to a network of games that's already begun with Ethereum-based video games. Players can win rewards in one game and spend those rewards in another. All games are interconnected, and value can be transferred between them in this new dimension. At Horizon, we've got a brilliant, diverse team. John helped make Magic, one of the most popular card games ever. Will did his PhD in next-level math and is a blockchain wizard. Hanny helped launch some of the incredible Far Cry games, and Peter built and sold 2 successful tech companies. We're backed by visionary investors like Alexis Ohanian, Initialized, and more. Our private beta begins in 2 weeks, and you can sign up now at skyweaver.net. Come play and co-create the new dimension with us. Thank you.
Okay, now let's pivot to marketplaces, and more specifically, one that's reinventing the way that parents buy and sell baby and children's gear. This Colorado-based company, Goodbye Gear, was born out of the frustration with the waste and clutter and the never-ending costs associated with raising children. To give us an insight into what's already been a massive hit with parents all across North America, let's welcome the co-founder and COO of this company, Kristen Lagenfeld.
Are you ready? Huh? Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. Thank you for the introduction. When you have a baby, you end up accumulating so much stuff. But it's stuff you really need, sometimes only for a matter of months or even weeks. And then what do? You're left with a household full of stuff that has to go somewhere because you need room for the next set of gear for your child. And you'd think that parents would turn to sites like this: Facebook, Craigslist, Kijiji, if you're Canadian. And I did once, but because it's a terrible experience. You have to go back and forth on messages and emails with complete strangers, and then you coordinate your schedule, or you have an awkward negotiation about price first, and then you coordinate your schedules to meet them in a parking lot. Not only is this unsafe, it's a complete waste of time. We interviewed over 200 parents and found that our actual competition is this: your basement, your garage, or the local Goodwill. The thing is, this stuff is actually worth a lot of money. Parents are spending, on average, $1,300 per child per year on gear that has another life in it. With 23 million families in our target profile in the US alone, that's over $15 billion in potential value sitting in basements every year. Not to mention $7 billion in returned baby goods that retailers can't process, but we can. At Goodbye Gear, we've developed a new age marketplace that takes all the friction out of selling. Here's how it works. Our amazing workforce of wing moms process the inventory. They are our secret to scaling. These wing moms are extremely efficient and industry experts, and they leverage the advanced technology that we've developed in order to streamline and standardize that process, including quality checks, pricing, and custom descriptions for over 3,000 SKUs in our database. And we've proven that we can scale this model. In our first 2 markets, we sold over 10,000 items in the last year, and we've maintained an 80 NPS over the last year as well. Jessica and I are the co-founders. We are moms, and so we get it. And our mission is to change the way that the secondhand markets exist today and make it accessible for all. We see a future where you no longer buy cheap plastic and keep it in your basement for years. Instead, you buy well-made, quality gear and sell it and give it another life and another life and another life, saving Mother Earth, your money, and your time. Thank you.
Good job. This next company has come to us all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. They are changing the way that Africans engage financial services, starting with payments and remittances, but moving quickly into digital banking. I'd like a warm welcome for the CEO and co-founder, Dixon Nosifor from CoraPay.
There are 1.3 billion people in Africa, and 60% don't have access to financial services. Let me rephrase that. Over 800 million people don't have access to financial services as I speak. This is the problem. People pay bills in cash, people save in cash, and people receive money from abroad in cash. Despite all these inefficiencies, over $45 billion was received by Africans in Africa last year alone. Now, imagine I told you there was a platform that was easily accessible to all 800 million people without cash exchanging hands at a fraction of the cost today. My name is Dixon Nsofor, and I'm the CEO of CoraPay. We make it easy for people to access financial services in Africa. We've been able to achieve 3 major milestones with our first product. We've dropped transactions time from 48 hours down to 23 minutes. We've reduced the huge transaction fees from 9% down to 1%. And it's all done digitally. Now, let's use the product. Amanda in West Africa wants to receive money from her mom in America or in Canada, simply sends a payment request. Instantly, her mom confirms the payment request, submits her information, and in 23 minutes, the money is in Amanda's wallet in West Africa. With this money, she can now send to another bank account, cash out to any closer ATM around her, and pay every single bill in the country. We differentiated ourselves from every other product in the market because we are not just only a remittance company, but we focused on the user journey. We've integrated into the daily lives of our users. We believe in the evolution of our product, and we believe in understanding our users. And so in the future, we intend to offer Amanda products like savings, investment option, and access to cheaper loans. And in our quest to build an ecosystem of financial services, I'm pleased to announce that we've headquartered CoraPay to Toronto, Canada. Let's take a second to think about what CoraPay is doing. We're enabling access to financial services in a continent that is the next blue ocean. Africa is becoming China's China. And in order for us to harness this economic growth, there needs to be a leapfrog through technology. Join us as we usher in prosperity through CoraPay. Thank you.
Okay, this next founder, she's created her company out of academic research that relates to data privacy. Incredibly timely. So at Akita Software, they provide support to companies by building solutions that understand how data flows and how to prevent data leaks. So the CEO, her name is Jean Yang. She says that the company's in stealth mode, but she's going to give us a quick, brief glimpse as to what's in store for us. Please welcome Jean Yang to the stage.
When I started working on data privacy in 2009, people said, who's going to care about that in 10 years? I said, Facebook, and they said, who's going to care about that? By now, people are recognizing that responsible data use is one of the biggest social issues of our time. Even governments are acknowledging that companies like Facebook have an obligation to protect user data. Today, 92% of US multinationals have cited GDPR compliance as a top priority, and 77% have allotted annual budgets of at least $1 million. But at the same time, we're still seeing major companies like Facebook and Twitter suffering from seemingly preventable issues like leaking plain text passwords. So how do we get from here to responsible data use? The issue isn't that companies don't care, and it's not that developers don't know how to protect sensitive data, but it's legitimately hard to figure out what data to protect when. We've been seeing companies move towards what's called microservice-based architectures, where functionality is broken down into smaller and smaller reconfigurable pieces. And what this means is that each developer now only sees a tiny part of the big picture. It's like being a UPS driver where you don't know if the packages you're handling are fragile or flammable. If a developer doesn't know that they're even handling passwords, they're probably going to accidentally leak them. At Akita, we're here to help companies label their data boxes. We're building cutting-edge technology to track data from the minute it enters the systems all the way to everywhere it goes in order to both detect potential leaks, for instance, passwords going where it's not supposed to go, and also identify potential fixes to those problems. We're giving actionable insights to engineering, security, and DevOps teams so that everybody can make more responsible decisions about their data. We're currently a stealth mode, seed stage startup in Palo Alto, and we would love to give you a sneak peek of what we're doing in exchange for actionable insights for us to improve our product. We're booth B141 tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Gene. We're going to take a break for 10 minutes. These were a phenomenal group of 8 startups giving you a rapid-fire 2.5-minute pitch. We're going to do 8 more, and then we're going to move right into our keynote speakers. So please take a moment to say hello to one another. There's bathrooms, there's beer tents, there's other stages to visit, but be back here in 10 minutes. We're going to keep this going. Thank you very much.